Hello everyone. I've created a crisis management and de-escalation training for pre-therapy students to practice something that's pretty daunting. So to start, we're going to reach out and tap this box. We'll talk to Nancy and get filled in on the situation. Hello therapist, my name is Nancy. I'm sorry to call you in on a Saturday, but we need your help immediately. I was just working on filing some claims when Gary busted through the door and demanded to see someone today. This doesn't sound good. We're going to pick up the pen from the cup and place it on Gary's chart for the next prompt. All right, she printed out his chart. We're going to glance through it so that we know what we're walking into. Here's his chart. Okay, now we can see that Nancy has already called in some reinforcements just in case things escalate any further. So where are we off to? We're going to approach Gary in room 342 by turning to the right. All right, let's leave the lobby and let's start getting towards the therapist offices. Room 340 with an interesting therapist. We have 345 and we have 342 here. We can already see Gary through the door. So we're going to communicate with him by picking either Avenue 1 or Avenue 2 on the desk to complete the task of de-escalation. We're going to pick up the response and we're going to tap Gary with it to see what he says next. And I'll go over it more when we go over there, but we're going to stick with either Avenue 1 or Avenue 2. And this should simulate a real-life scenario where what you say cascades into a series of events that you can't undo. You can't take it back. So look, we could first look and see that visually there is some kind of elevation of emotions and there's some frustration here. So we'll turn to face Gary. He's saying he can't live anymore and that he just wants to go home and end it all. So let's look at the avenues we can go down. And it's important to note that in general, there is no right or wrong, especially at this stage of your schooling. There isn't really a right or wrong. We just have to pick what avenue resonates best with us. So I think I'm going to pick Avenue 1. I'm going to pick up this text box. I'm going to tap him with it. He's still upset. So we're going to look back at the desk. And because we picked Avenue 1, we have to continue with Avenue 1. But it's important that we see what else could be a response. So that's why we're going to have Avenue 2, and we're going to keep seeing what that response could be. All right, we still have to de-escalate. We can see both our options. We're going to stick with Avenue 1. We got a little bit of context of what's going on. We have a little bit of reframing here. All right. So we've gotten to a point where he's done with the conversation. And now we can notice how both avenues we talk about, do we think you're going to be safe? Now we do this because when someone is in an elevated situation, elevated status, and we're trying to talk them down, and we've gotten them mostly back to baseline, we need to make sure that as a helper, we need to put together a crisis plan so that when he goes home, he has a list of what things that he can do when he starts feeling a little bit escalated. Then what we also want to do is we want to set up a plan to bring him back in office so that we can work through these things. So he'll have something to do at home, just in case he needs something, and he'll also have resources here. So we will pick what we got, and we'll place it there. And now we are done with our simulation. We can look around at some of the details here. We have this funny degree up on the wall. And you can look around. We have another therapist office. Go down the hall. You can look at some of the decorations. We have some cool books. And now we can go towards the exit. Thank you for trying out my simulation and have a nice day.